Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 8 of the Not Your Everyday MMA podcast. My name's Alex Henry, and I'm with Tori Haberl. And Tori, it's been a while since we've actually covered an actual fight because there hasn't been fights in a while. So since then, a lot of stuff has been announced, and we got a fight night to talk about on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a couple lonely weeks without fights, but I mean, we had Cage Warriors this weekend. There's been some other things going on, but there's been plenty of fights announced in the past couple of weeks. And so, I mean, that just builds up my excitement. It's almost like you're hanging off the edge because there's none. Like, there's been none recently, but they're announcing all these, and I'm like, oh, why can't they be now? But I'm excited.
And hopefully, you guys, active followers of the channel, have been enjoying the interviews and the GOAT episode. Still good to go back and listen, even if you're new. Elise Reed, Chris Duncan, very cool guys, and girls. But yeah, let's just get into it, Tori. We're gonna talk about some up and coming fights, and then we'll get to the main card of this weekend's fight night. So a fight that got announced for 282, Las Vegas, December 10th. Bo Nickal taking on Jamie Pickett. Tori, what do you think about this fight?
It's exciting. I mean, I'm surprised he's jumping really high. I mean, Jamie Pickett's not just an unranked. Jamie Pickett's a contender. You know, he's known, and so I mean, I'm really excited. I think Bo's gonna take it. I think he might take it with ease. I think he's that good. I think he 1000% lives up to the expectations. I'm excited. I mean, you never know. This is the actual UFC, not the Contender Series, so we are going to see Bo get tested a little bit. I mean, I don't really see him getting tested. I don't know, but he might, and I think it's going to be an awesome fight.
Yeah, I think Bo's going to destroy him. I don't even think it'll be close. I think he could get tested. It will be more of a test, but overall, I'm like, I don't see this dude standing at Jamie Pickett. He does not stand a chance with Bo Nickal, in my eyes anyway. So I'm also really excited for this fight. And another fight announced for 282. Still don't really know the main event for that card yet, but another fight announced nonetheless. So another fight that got announced for Rio de Janeiro, UFC 283, January 21st. It'll be here in no time. What's after a trilogy, Tori? What's the
quadruple? I have no idea.
Quadruple I don't.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Between Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno, and if there ever was something that was earned for a fourth fight, this is it. This is the fight that's earned for the fourth fight. What do you think about this fight, Tori?
I am so excited. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, these men for the past 4 fights have had to prepare, other than Moreno, has had to prepare for the same person over and over again. I mean, but what do you do if Moreno wins this one? What do you do? Is there a fifth one? I mean, but if he dominantly wins this fight, I think they're over with it because the last fight was so questionable. I thought he won. I might just be biased towards Moreno because he's probably one of my favorite fighters, but I think Moreno takes it. I think he takes it with ease. I mean, maybe not with ease, but I just think it's going to be a great fight. I'm rooting for the assassin baby all the way. I wish it was in Mexico. I think he deserves for it to be in Mexico, but it's okay. It's going to be in Brazil. But I mean, I'm stoked. I'm really excited. I want him to keep his belt. I want him to earn the actual belt once again. I want him to defend it. I'm excited.
I think whoever loses doesn't get a shot at the title for a really long time. Even if it is close, this is the fourth fight. There's no way they're having a fifth fight. If it's split decision and a bad call, I don't think a fifth fight happens. That's just
yeah, I think we're going to be left hanging on the edge, which is going to suck. So I'm hoping it's a dominant win by at least
I hope it is a dominant win, and I hope it is by Brandon Moreno. But if there's one thing I have learned, it's not to count Figgy out. I got to stop counting that dude out because every time I do, I get hurt.
He's a dangerous man. I overall think he's more technical than Moreno. I just think Moreno has more heart. I mean,
he's got the dog in him.
He's got the dog in him. Moreno is a fighter, and I think I don't know. I think he has something to prove, and I think he wants to. Because in terms of Figueiredo, that we've had quite a few Brazilian champions. Moreno was the first ever Mexican-born champion, so he's
Yeah.
just gonna have like he has to set his foot down and show who is champion and just kind of prove that people can do this from anywhere in the world, you know. So I mean, I'm praying that Moreno wins.
Yeah, me too. Another fight, welterweight, main event, December 3rd. Stephen Thompson taking on out of retirement. He's in retirement for so long, Tori.
Finally stepping back out.
Finally, he said the retired life's not for me. I need to fight more. Kevin Holland. This is going to be an exciting fight, Tori. What do you think about it?
I'm excited. I don't love it just because I don't want to see any one of them lose. And like because I'm a big fan of Wonder Boy. He's had some unfortunate matchups lately. I mean, he faced Gilbert Burns and Gilbert Burns just grappled him all 3 rounds. Then he faced Bilal Muhammad, same sort of thing. Bilal just wrestled him. So I'm excited to see him against a striker so we could really see Stephen Thompson because he hasn't even looked bad. He hasn't looked bad at all. He's just been facing kind of the wrong opponents. I guess the matchmaking hasn't been great on his end, but I'm very, very excited. I think it's going to be technical. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to go to decision. I'm kind of rooting for Wonder Boy here a little bit just because of how great his walkout song is by Tenacious D, Wonder Boy. But I'm excited. What do you think?
I think it's funny because I mean it's kind of obvious that Kevin Holland took this fight one because it's a main event fight. He wants that money.
Yeah.
But number two, it's because it's a striker. These guys don't have to worry about it going on the ground. And even if it does, I mean, Kevin Holland's not a bad wrestler, but he doesn't want it to go on the ground. He wants to strike. That's what he wants to do. That's why Hamzat sent him to retirement because he's like, that's enough for me. That's enough wrestling
No more,
for me.
yeah.
I'm done with the whole entire sport now. But I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining fight because it's two very, I don't want to say technical strikers. They are technical strikers, but entertaining and diverse strikers. Guys that are, I mean, we got a karate fighter.
Yeah.
And then we have Kevin Holland, which could create his own version of striking.
He could create his own mixed martial art.
Literally Holland striking. So I think it'll be a really entertaining fight. And my hope is that Kevin Holland wins because I think if he wins, he'll want to stick around.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Wonder Boy, I'm just curious to see how he is now because we haven't seen him in a little bit. And like I said, the past matchups he hasn't really been able to show his skills or his techniques where he's really strong in. So we haven't really seen how well he is still, you know? So I'm excited to see how how much Wonder Boy is in the game, if that makes sense still. Because I mean, who doesn't love Wonder Boy? Who doesn't love to see him?
No, I love Wonder Boy. I love Wonder Boy.
But Kevin Holland too, if he wins, he's still a contender, you know? Yep. So it's just kind of one of those things. So yeah.
Yeah. Another fight on that card, the same card, December 3rd, Orlando. Bryan Barberena taking on RDA, Rafael dos Anjos. I think this is a really exciting fight, Tori. What do you think?
This fight is going to be insane. I mean, you have RDA, 37 years old. I mean, didn't look horrible in the physique fight, but still kind of in it, you know, had a really dominant win at I believe UFC 272. But I'm excited. I like these type of fights because there's nothing really at risk. You know, they're two kind of not older guys, but you know, been around in the game for a little bit. And so, I mean, there's not much to lose for either of them. So I just think it's going to be brutal and I think it's going to be awesome. So I'm excited.
Well, you know, if there's Bryan Barberena, that there's going to be blood. That's what I always think. 1,000%. There's going to be blood. And not that I'm a gruesome person and I want to see blood. I don't. But if there's blood, that means there's crazy striking. And I do love watching some crazy striking. And I think RDA is a great matchup because RDA, he's only in the UFC right now because he's tough. Yeah. And he hasn't been able to show that he's old man yet. He's just continued to show that he's a tough,
he's like
old
a rock.
UFC fighter.
Yeah.
So, Bryan Barberena, it's like, all right, bro, come at me. I know you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got. So, I don't know who I have winning in this fight. We'll obviously make our predictions down the road.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm like, that's a really exciting fight. And it's on that same card. So, that's kind of cool, too.
Yeah.
Another card in January 14th. Fight night. Geoff Neal taking on Shavkat Rakhmonov, which I think is a really interesting fight. Tori, what do you think?
I am so excited to see Shavkat fight again. My dream was for him to fight Hamzat just to really like show like who is the dark horse in the division, you know. But then Hamzat kind of took off. Shavkat kind of stayed behind a little bit. He is so entertaining to watch. This man, he just demolishes all of his opponents. I mean, Geoff Neal, he's also dangerous. I mean, he did just have a win over Vicente Luque, I believe, and it was he knocked Vicente Luque out, and I counted him out. So you never know, but I can't even lie. I think it's gonna be domination. I think Shavkat's gonna win, and I think once he does win, he's definitely gonna fight someone in the top 10, top 5. I mean, no, Neal's in the top 10. I mean, just really up there in the division. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we should make a video one day talking about our current most underrated fighters. Because if I
Yeah.
did, Shavkat would be top 3
Yes.
in that video for me. Because literally, this dude does not get enough credit. Like, it's because he's not as loud and he doesn't have the personality.
Yeah.
But if you watch this dude in the cage, he is no joke. He's good in all aspects, and I got Shavkat like by 100. I think that Neal's good, but I got Shavkat hasn't proved to me why he would lose in a match versus Neal right now. So I think this is a really exciting fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's gonna be pure. I think it's gonna be pure domination, and I'm excited just to see where he goes because I do want to see him face Hamza in the future. I think that'd be a really interesting fight to see how those styles, almost like not exactly, almost like an Oliveira versus Islam situation. You know,
Right.
people that are dangerous in the same areas and just see how they compare to one another. So yeah, I'm excited to see him fight again.
So one more fight we'll talk about, and then we're getting into fight night, Tori. December 3rd, this December 3rd card, Wonderboy Holland, RDA, Bryan Barberena. And it's also got Sergei Pavlovich taking on Tuivasa. This December 3rd card is kind of reminds me of UFC Paris, where it's just a stacked fight night card, because this card is literally stacked. Tori, it's no secret here on the Not Your Everyday MMA channel that we are both huge fans of Tuivasa. So what do you think about this fight?
I am so excited for this fight. I think Ty's gonna take it. I just think he's too tough. Sergey, if he can get to the ground, I think, but Ty just swing and bang. I mean, he's just like he knocked down he knocked down Cyril Gane. I mean, how could you not root for Ty? I think he's gonna do great. Sergey had that loss not long, which I thought was like, oh wait, no, not Sergey didn't have that loss. That was ignore what I just said. He beat anyways, moving on. And he beat Derek Lewis, but I'm excited. I think Ty's might be the gatekeeper now to the top of the division.
Right.
Especially with losing. I think he might be like, oh, you want to come here? Like, come on and try. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is another good fight for Ty. Not necessarily that Ty needs to prove himself either anymore, but if Ty can beat Pavlovich here, I mean, that's a 16-1 fighter. I don't know where Pavlovich is ranked. I can't remember, but Ty winning this fight's like a bigger deal than, like a co-main or main card fight on a fight night. Like, this is actually a bigger deal than people might give it credit for, and I think Tai Tuivasa knocks him out.
And
I think
I'm excited. I just love seeing Ty fight. Like, I mean,
of course,
we didn't get to see the Shui last time, and I want to see it this time, and it's just it's exciting.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see a Ty win, I think. Tori, you ready to talk about fight night?
I am.
All right, let's get into it. We got a fight night this Saturday, and we are gonna break down the main card of that fight. We're not getting into the prelims, but we will be talking about the main card. I don't know if there's like somebody hammering something in my house right now, but I keep hearing it, so hopefully that goes away. But let's get into the first fight. Misha Serkinov taking on Alonzo Menfield. Tori, what do you think?
I am very excited for this fight. I mean, you have Misha 15, 8 and 0, and then 4 and 4 with knockouts. 9-3 with submissions, and then you have Mainfield, who is 12-3, 9-1 with knockouts, and 2-0 with submissions. I mean, right off the bat, I have Menifield by knockout. I just think he overall has more power. Serverhov, he's on the 3-fight lose streak. He didn't look great in his last fights, but the loss to Jatko, he looked good. I mean, some people could argue that he did win, but unfortunately, the judges thought differently. I mean, then we have Menifield, who is just, I just think he kind of has the advantage in a lot of places. I mean, he has the advantage in power and in striking, and he's just stronger, and he throws these huge hammer fists. And then, but you can never count Sergov out because, I mean, he does have this left arm that he just tends to only throw, and it could catch people or it couldn't. And so you just never really know. But overall, I think I'm going to go Menifield. And I said Menifield by knockout because Sergov, just his chin is just, it's kind of glassy. So yeah.
I'm taking Misha here. His chin is sus. It's a little sus, but I gotta take Misha overall. I think Misha is a great grappler and is very, very powerful. 43% takedown, takedown accuracy, I believe, but averages 4.25 takedowns a fight. And also likes to look for that submission, which I think is really, really important here. Alonso is very strong, throws with a lot of intent. I think he has an 83% takedown defense, which is pretty important in this fight. Very athletic, light heavyweight. I just think that Alonso's a little inconsistent when it comes to keeping the pace of a fight and sometimes gets a little too tired. I know Serkinov hasn't won since 2019. I know Misha's getting old, but I think that Misha has a good takedown defense. And I don't know. I just can't count Misha out. I think Misha's going to be able to land a couple hits and win, but I'm not very confident in this pick, Tori.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I mean, both of them are kind of not looking too great, but it is kind of a pick 'em fight. But next we have the middleweight bout between Jordan Wright and Dusko Todorovic, I believe. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, Dusko has good precise striking, good power and some BJJ just to throw in there. But the chin is very questionable. Jordan, really good kickboxing, has like 100% finish rate. Whether it's a win or a loss. And that's due to his power, right? So overall, I really like Jordan's striking, but I think Dusko has better striking, and I think Dusko gets a knockout here.
Oh wow. I have the opposite. I have Wright by finish this fight. I mean, I just think Todorovic in his past couple of fights, he's looked kind of hittable. He's well-rounded. He has good power. He's technical with his striking, and he has pretty good takedown defense. But Wright, he has 100% finish rate. So this is kind of like it's like I'm just kind of throwing everything into Wright because either he is finished or he is finishing people. It's 100%. I mean, he has so much power. He moves in and out a lot. Not great wrestling, but I mean, just is really strong, and he is very just long. His reach, I believe, I'm not for sure if he will have a reach advantage this fight. I believe he will. I think he can use that to his advantage. He throws great straight shots, and I mean, just a killer be killed. And I think he might kill this one. I mean, I'm excited, and I think I'm taking Wright by finish. It's kind of I don't think it's going to go a decision. I think we're going to see a finish, and I wouldn't be surprised if Todorovic got the finish. But for right now, I'm going to pick Wright.
So we're disagreeing every fight right now, Tori.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to disagree on every fight. I think that'd be fun. But okay. So the next fight, I'm calling this the people's main event. We got Askar Askarov taking on Brandon Royval. Tori, who do you have in this fight?
I mean, I'm surprised this isn't the co-main. I mean, you have number 4 ranked Askar Askarov, 14-1. He just lost to Kai Kara-France, and then he has that draw with Brandon Moreno. He is 4-0 with knockouts, 7-0 with submissions, and then you have number 5 ranked Brandon Royval. I mean, 14-6, 13 with knockouts, 9 with submissions. He just had a round 1 submission win against Matt Chanel not too long ago, but he has lost to Moreno and Pantoja. Askar Askar is a killer. I mean, I know he didn't look great in his last fight, but overall, this man was also the dark horse of the division for a while.
Right.
I mean, just so rounded everywhere. Kind of has that like Habib Dagestanian type like wrestling.
Oh, he
Such a
definitely.
good striker. Always, yeah, and he always has that submission threat when he gets to the floor. The fight against Moreno, he looked awesome. I mean, that fight in general was great. Against Kai, didn't look too hot, but still looked pretty good. This is such a close fight. And then you have Roybell, very exciting. He is probably the better striker out of the two. He's speedy, a pretty good grappler. He is again a kill or be killed type fighter, and he is always, 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 always moving forward. But I think Askar, if he uses his wrestling, I mean, if he uses, because he's usually kind of patient with his finishes and with his attacks. So I think if he kind of uses that, I I think he can get it. But it's a really close fight. But I'm gonna go Askar by unanimous decision.
Tori, I have to agree with you on this one.
Okay,
So
perfect.
we are gonna agree here. I mean, that was a great breakdown. Askar does have great striking. He's known for that Dagestan wrestling, right? But you mentioned not only is he a good wrestler, he also has really good jiu-jitsu. Really good timing on the ground when it comes to the submissions. You talked about that. It's kind of like a Charles Oliveira, not as good, but just where you know how Charles will like wait for the moment and strike in that perfect
Yeah,
moment. That's what Askar's shown when he does submit.
for sure.
Very fun fighter to watch. He didn't look as good wrestling wise his last fight. 2 for 14 on takedowns in
Yeah,
that
and that's
last fight.
unlike him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Brandon Royval's really, really good, by the way. He throws with serious intent. He loves to strike, a lot of volume, quick on his feet. He can knock you out. His defense is rough though. He lets people come in on him, and that's not good. But he's proved that he's tough, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen that from fighters before. The only thing is it doesn't hold up, right? Like you can only let yourself get hit so many times and use the I'm tough card until it doesn't work anymore. Not only that, but Royval only has a 39% takedown defense. So what I want to see is Askar kind of go in, get him in a striking match, get him to drop his guard, and then go for that takedown, and Askar is going to win. Royval is always live for a knockout, likes to push the offense, but overall, I think Askar is better, and he's going to get it done here.
Yeah, and Askar is always hard to hit. He's always moving around, and he's difficult to fight and just land. But yeah, I'm gonna go Askar. Just because of his last fight, I don't think he's out of the like contender like talk at all. I think he's still a very strong fighter. I guess we'll see this weekend. But yeah, I'm glad we agree on that one.
We do agree on that one.
Alrighty. So next we have Cub Swanson, the absolute legend, versus John Martinez. Alrighty, let's hear your breakdown.
I mean, you said it, Tori. Cub has fought for a while now. He uses a lot of different strikes and has a lot of power in his strikes. He can wrestle. His grappling isn't bad. Overall, he's a fun fighter. He is getting older for the sport. 38, I believe. Am I right on that? Yeah. Jonathan has really good looking Muay Thai all around. Even in the clinch, a lot of Muay Thai fighters you see him kind of struggle in the clinch in MMA Muay Thai, but he's actually successful there, and that's something I kind of noticed. Has wrestling in his back pocket too, which is nice. That kind of striking wrestling mix. And he can kind of use that, pull out when he needs to. Also has deceiving power, but I don't know if he has real legit knockout power yet. Martinez has scary defense. And he kind of crumbles under pressure. Like it worries me. Cub hasn't shown me a reason not to pick him. And I think he's got the experience. And with the iffy defense of Jonathan, I'm going to take Cub here to get the win.
I actually agree with you on this one. I chose Cub as well. I mean, if we could just talk about everyone that Cub Swanson has fought. He has a win against Charles Oliveira, a win against Dustin Poirier, a win against Jeremy Stevens. He lost, but still fought Frankie Edgar, Max Holloway, lost to Brian Ortega, but also fought Frankie Edgar another time, and Shane Berg. This man has just fought everyone. He's fought everyone. And now he is down at bantamweight. And I mean, he's a legend. He's a good striker. He has awesome fight IQ. He's been in the game for so long. He can wrestle and grapple pretty well. He's just overall really well rounded. So is Martinez, though. I mean, good BJJ, also strong Muay Thai style. He can create some submissions, but he's pretty consistent, but he doesn't handle the pressure well.
Nope.
And I just overall think Swanson, just the experience level, is just, I think, is going to benefit him so much. I'm not sure about Swanson's chin right now. I mean, we'll see on Saturday, but so far it looks pretty good. It's going to be a close fight. I don't really see a finish happening, but I think Cub's going to take it.
Yeah, there we go. We both agree with a Cub Swanson win here. So we disagree on 2 and we agree on 2. Let's see what we think as we go into the main event of this week's fight night. Alexa Grasso taking on Viviane Araujo. Hope I'm saying that right. Tori, give me your breakdown and your prediction of this fight.
I mean, you have Grasso, the number 5 ranked contender in the flyweight division. I mean, 14-3-0, 4-0 with knockouts, 1-1 with submission. She's 4-1 her past 5 fights. Then you have Araujo, who is 11-3, also owned the number 6 ranked in the flyweight division. 3-1 with knockouts, 4-0 with submissions. Both of these, it's going to be an exciting fight, but to be honest, any fight in the flyweight division, like for a contender title fight, I'm like, it's like, who's facing Valentina next? You know, like, who's going to be the next victim?
Right.
I don't know about her last fight, but I mean, you have Grasso. She's really entertaining all around. She has good volume. She's a good striker. She's pretty good takedown defense. She's always staying busy and moving around. She is really dangerous in the boxing range. She has good power. She is younger, and she's a fast striker. And then you have Araujo. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. She's a grappler. She can strike. She has almost like a Mackenzie Dern, obviously not as good, but she's mainly grappler, but she can hang around with the strikers, maybe sometimes not to her advantage, but she still can. She's fast and athletic. She throws really, really good leg kicks. But the biggest factor in this fight is the fact that it's not 3 rounds, and it's the fact that Araujo has proven not to do great in just not even in 5 rounds, like in 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. She got really tired against Kukijin. I always believe to pronounce it. And I was watching that fight last night for another time, and I was like, her hands were low. She was breathing heavy by like mid-second round. And I was like, ooh, because she just puts so much into everything that she does, like so much into takedowns, so much into the strikes. And I think that really, really might be a problem. And I see her wearing out, and that's kind of the biggest factor in this fight. And yeah, I mean, but Grasso, all of her losses are to grapplers, so there always is a submission threat in there. But she can keep it standing. I'm gonna go Grasso by late finish in like 4th or 5th round, or by using or a decision.
No, that's a great breakdown, Tori. So like, you pretty much said it perfectly. And how I think about it is, even if Viviane can get some takedowns in a 5-round fight versus Alexa, is that going to be enough? Because Alexa's a way better striker, in my opinion. And we've seen Viviane kind of crumble when it comes to a boxing exchange. Now, Viviane is a good boxer, but when it comes to fighting another boxer, another person who likes to strike, sometimes it's not that good. So, like, I think Alexa can win, even if Viv gets a couple takedowns. Like, even if Viv takes 2 or 3 takedowns in a fight, I think the amount of striking damage that happens in this fight from Alexa, and this is coming from somebody who really likes to score the wrestling, but overall, I think Alexa can really dominate in a striking match, and if she can keep it on the feet the whole time, Alexa's sweeping, in my mind. But even if Alexa gets taken down a couple times, it can get back up and still do good in those striking exchanges. It'll be good. And Vivi, going throughout that fight, is going to get tired.
Yeah.
So how many takedowns with all the striking will Viv be able to take in this fight? I don't know. So I got to go with Grasso here as well.
Yeah, and I mean, also Grasso has a win against Macy Barber, and she just had a really dominant 1st-round submission against Wood. So I mean, she's looked great. And I mean, I always love seeing newer contenders in this division, because, you know, with Valentina, it's a tough one, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So we agree on more than we disagree on, right? That's good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
something.
3
But
and 2, yeah.
yeah, really good breakdowns, really good predictions. Let's get in to our top 5, and we will be doing an award show in like January where we're gonna give our thoughts on best male fighter, female fighter, pound for pound, best fight, all of the above. But we're just gonna talk about what we think as of when we're recording this in October was the best fights this year so far. Go through our top 10 or top 5. Tori, I'll give to you first.
All right, some people might not agree with me because this is like what I like to watch. But number 5, I have Tuivasa versus Lewis. That was scary to watch because I thought one of their heads was gonna fall off. I mean, when Tuivasa was just taking those shots by Lewis, and then when he just nailed it with that elbow, oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat. I jumped up and like threw everything in the air when he knocked Lewis down. It was actually insane. That's gonna be my number 5. Number 4, Gilbert Burns versus Hamzat Chimaev. I don't even need to explain it. We all saw it. We all witnessed greatness. It was an amazing fight. 3, Font versus Vera. This was kind of the fight that made me like fall in love with Chito Vera and his fighting style. I mean, it was really interesting to watch because though Font gave more output, Cheeto's just the quality in his punches and the power he has. It was just really, 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 really rocking Font. So that was awesome to see. And then number 2, Glover versus Yuri. That it was insane to see someone the age of Glover Teixeira fighting like that. That man is just has heart, and was insane, and it was just awesome, awesome, awesome to watch. And my number 1, people might be like, why? And I'm gonna explain. It's Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira, because if I could watch, I think I've watched that fight. I could recite the commentators' lines, and I could recite like every move they do. I've seen it. I've watched it over so many times. Like when DC says watch for the knees and Oliveira, boom, brings Gaethje to the floor. Beautiful. Everything about it was perfect. What I would do for that fight to be 5 rounds, I would pay $1 million. It's like it's up there like my favorite of all time. For some reason, that one round was just it was perfect.
Yeah, no, that was a great fight. And we have a pretty similar list, but we do have some differences. 5 for me is Cannonier versus Brunson. And because that was the most violent knockout I've ever seen, probably in my ever life.
Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that it was the most impressive or the craziest, but it was violent. I thought
Killer gorilla.
I thought the killer gorilla was trying to literally kill the dude. So I was like, when's he gonna pull him off? And he did eventually. Yeah. Number 4, I got Gane versus Tuivasa here. That was just one of the best heavyweight matches I've ever watched in my entire life. So I gotta put it here. Whoa, why do I messed up my list somewhere. But I have Oliveira versus Gaethje at number 3. I thought that was a great fight, and I think it easily deserves to be in the top 5 as well. Yeah. I have Font versus Vera at 2, and then I have Yuri versus Glover at number 1, because that fight for me, as kind of a newer MMA fan, only a couple years into watching UFC, for me that was like the best like 5-round fight I've ever watched in my life. Like when it comes to watching a full fight, it was entertaining the entire every single round.
Fight.
And like, then
it was a fight.
Yeah, and then when it came to the end, it was such an unexpected win. So I was like, that was just really a good fight for me. And it was the other thing about that fight for me was that I was not looking forward to that card at all. The whole card I wasn't looking forward to, and then it ended up being an absolute beautiful card. So that's gonna be my top 5, Tori, and that's gonna be it for episode 8 of the Not Your Everyday MMA podcast. It's kind of crazy to say episode 8, because I feel like we've been doing this like
I feel like we do it for a while. Yeah,
I feel like we're on like episode 20, but it's
I know
only episode 8.
Go.
Yeah, for sure. But we got some big things coming up. I won't spoil too much of it yet. We'll keep you on your toes. So stick around, subscribe, hit the like button, comment. We appreciate your comments. We read them all. And that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoy fight night this weekend. And I hope you guys stick around, because next week we got a banger banger podcast because
Ooh,
UFC's
UFC
280 is coming
280.
in. So we're gonna try to drop that video early for you guys, because we want to be one of the first ones to drop it. We don't want you to go watch
Yeah.
someone else's YouTube channel. We want you to watch ours. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to give you a little early video on 280 and giving you guys our breakdowns. But for right now, that's episode 8. My name is Alex Henry, and I was with
Tori Alex. Thank you
and
guys.
we are signing off.